and it's a real test for the leopard.
You'll be surprised to know just how intelligent this animal is. Baboons. They live in troops, observe, cooperate, and adapt faster than we might think. As their natural food sources become scarce, they begin venturing into human vineyards, cornfields, and apple orchards. At first, it's just a few individuals. But soon, the entire troop learns to follow. And that's when conflict begins. We don't hunt to destroy. We manage the population to protect crops, livestock, and the balance between humans and nature. If you understand the value of nature and the responsibility that comes with it, subscribe to Famigo Farm and join us on this journey. Baboons are among the most intelligent and adaptable primates in Africa. They live in large troops, sometimes dozens, even hundreds of individuals. Within each group, there is a clear hierarchy. The alpha takes charge of watching, making decisions, and protecting the troop from danger. They remember travel routes, know where to find water, which seasons bring fruit, and, most remarkably, they remember how humans react. With just one observation, they can learn to avoid traps, stay away from tools, and even recognize the familiar sound of a farmer's vehicle. They are not only smart, they are clever and bold. At first, they spread out across the grasslands at the forest's edge, where herds of antelope and buffalo often pass. They search for seeds, roots, and whatever scraps remain from the larger grazers. But when the forests no longer bear enough fruit, when the plains grow bare, they begin to move closer. From forest to savanna, to the edge of farmland. There, the vineyards appear like an irresistible invitation, clusters of ripe grapes, their sweetness hanging in the sunlight, or a hungry troop running out of food. That is more than a meal. It's survival. And more than once, the baboons have crossed fences, climbed onto roofs, and entered homes through windows or open porches. They rummage for food in kitchens, in storage rooms, right in the very places people believe to be the safest. Their presence causes not only loss of property, but also shakes the very idea of home, a final refuge that now, too, must be defended. People have to stay more alert. They have to change their routines. They must live beside a boundary that grows fainter with each passing year. Morning comes slowly to the dry hills. The cold air lingers on the ground, over gray stones, and across the blades of grass scorched by a long, harsh summer. The sun has only just begun to rise, casting a pale golden hue across the valley, calm and quiet. But that calm is only an illusion from afar. Here, silence always hides something that moves beneath it. On the slope ahead, a troop of baboons appears. They are neither loud nor hurried. Their movements are orderly. Each one pauses, lifts its head, and observes. Their eyes are sharp, as if reading every detail of the land and sky. This species survives not only through strength, but through intellect and vigilance.
Ago, we managed to find a lookout spot on the edge of a mountain.
The hunter hides behind a low ridge of rock, body low, blending into the terrain. Every motion is minimized, almost invisible. Even his breathing must be controlled. No words are exchanged. No signals are given. This is the moment when hours of preparation narrow down to a single action. The troop stops. The alpha stands a little taller. The wind shifts, carrying the scent of dry grass and dust. Time seems to slow. The hunter's gaze locks on his mark, not out of aggression, but out of duty, to protect the fields, the livestock, and the harvests that lie in the valley below. His finger tightens gently on the trigger. A flash bursts from the barrel. A sharp, clean sound cracks the air, echoing off the stone walls before fading into the wind. For a heartbeat, nothing moves. Then, the troop scatters in a chaos that still feels deliberate. They dart through thorn bushes, leap over rocks, and vanish into the crevices only creatures born of this land could know. The hunter doesn't move. No celebration, no sigh of relief, no chase. At the border between humanity and the wild, a single gunshot is never just a gunshot. It is a choice, a calculation, a reminder that we do not rule over nature. We exist beside it and must always respect it. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and follow our journey to the lush green mountains, where the baboon troops often retreat and hide after their mischievous raids. The morning isn't hot yet, but sunlight is already spilling down the rock faces. There are no signal whistles, no clear starting cue. Every outing on this land begins with observation. The hunter checks his gear. Not rushed, not hurried. A hand smooths the stock, tightens a sling. The binoculars are focused, not to find a target immediately, but to read the baboon's route from how they move across the terrain. A quick exchange passes in low, hushed voices, no louder than the wind.
Scope. This may have ended differently. I probably would have stood a better chance just drawing my pistol.
Watch, I'll get a shot here. Guys, there's baboons.
There's no rigid plan, just experience and a feel for this land, something only people who've lived with it for years can have. They begin to move. Their steps are slow, deliberate. Each footfall is placed lightly to avoid rattling the gravel. The ground is unforgiving. Jagged rocks, dry grass like blades, low, thick thorn bushes that are hard to slip through. But they're used to it. Every few minutes they stop. Listen, look, feel the wind. At times, one of them raises a hand, a signal to halt. No words. The signal alone is enough. From the higher ground, they can see part of the distant plain. When the light shifts, sometimes a baboon's shadow can be seen moving across the hot rock. Not clear, not loud, just small, continuous motions. They lower their bodies, taking cover behind a long slab of rock. Every sound is minimized. The whisper of fabric on stone, a held breath, the wind moving through dry grass. No one speaks further. At this distance, words are unnecessary. Only two things remain: eyes, observing; timing, waiting. In the early sunlight and dry wind of this land, patience is not a virtue. It is a requirement for survival. In the hands of those who guard the boundary, weapons are not for show. They are tools, part of a duty. Today we carry two options: an FX Impact air rifle, quiet, precise, and a .22 250 rifle, fast, powerful, accurate, at long range. Along with them are binoculars, the distant eye that helps decide when to act and when to wait. The FX Impact, a choice for situations that require silence and precision. It allows smooth operation, low recoil, and stability when tracking nearby targets, suitable for approaches where noise could send the whole troop scattering. In many responsible population control scenarios, this quietness reduces environmental disturbance and allows for selective intervention. The .22 250, the voice of long range. With a flat trajectory and high bullet speed, it's reliable when shots are needed at extended distances, such as when a target is on a slope or at the edge of a plain. It's the tool for effective long-range shots, offering the steadiness needed for accurate decisions, always in compliance with hunting laws and ethics. Binoculars don't replace direct observation, but are the tool that determines timing, choosing the right moment, and avoiding pointless flare-ups. Every weapon here is used with absolute responsibility. Always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Keep your finger off the trigger until you are truly ready. Everything follows local laws, hunting seasons, permits, and rules of engagement. And most importantly, we do not hunt to show off. The goal is to protect the boundary and the balance of this land, not to brag, and certainly not to cause unnecessary harm. The baboon troop has changed direction. They've moved deeper into the forest. The thick canopy makes observation more difficult. We pack up our gear, check the wind and the light, then move to a new vantage point where we can cover the area more clearly. In this kind of work, there's no room for haste. Every step has to be measured, every decision based on careful observation and an understanding of their behavior. The baboons don't stay still, and neither do we. Our job is to follow, to watch, and to act only when the moment is truly right. The goal isn't pursuit, it's balance. Balance between people and the wild.
Oh, I got him. That was a definite hit.
The sun slowly sinks behind the dry, rocky ridges. The last light of the day stretches across the golden grasslands, making everything strangely peaceful. The baboon troop has retreated deep into the forest, while the people quietly pack up their gear and leave the lookout point in silence. In places like this, victory isn't measured by numbers, but by the fact that the boundary between humans and the wild remains intact. No one here sees themselves as masters of nature. We are only a part of it, and sometimes, to coexist, humans must make difficult decisions, but always with respect. The baboons are not enemies. They are simply living in the way they must live, and so are we. Today's story doesn't end with cheers or a clear conclusion. It pauses with a reminder. The balance of nature is always fragile, and our responsibility is to keep it alive. If you believe in protecting that boundary, subscribe to Famigo Farm and join the journeys ahead.